Hey guys, we are going to practice taking fractions, making them decimals and percents for your test tomorrow. Make sure that you have your triangle in front of you. You can't use your triangle in your test tomorrow. You're going to have to know how to do this. So just make sure you know what to do, okay? So I'm going to do a few of these questions from our review game today and go over them and do as many as we can within about 10 minutes. So first we're going to change 82 hundredths into a fraction. Remember to change a decimal into a fraction. You just have to say it. So that's 82 hundredths, but after we say it, we have to simplify. So make sure you think, okay, well, they're both even, so I can divide them by 2 to simplify. 2 goes into 8 4 times, and 2 goes into 2 1 time, and half of 100 is 50. That can't be simplified anymore, so that's your answer. And it can be as simple as that. Don't make it harder than it is. You are going to be able to use your calculator on part of the test tomorrow, not on the memorization part though. What is 92% as a decimal? Well, we know that if you have a percentage, all you have to do with that is take where the decimal is, which if it's out of sight, it's on the right, and you're going to move it 2 times to the left. So this percent as a decimal is 0 and 92 hundredths. All that happened there was that you divided by 100, but we don't have to even do that. We just made the decimal 2 times. What is 14 hundredths as a percent? If you have the decimal, it's kind of the opposite of what we just did, and you're going to the right, you're going to go to the right 2 times to make it a percent, which is 14%. Now, if you need to make sure you're writing these down with me, so if you need to go back and write these down, or you can pause it as you go, but this is for you to study, so make sure that you're writing these down. What is 5/8 as a decimal? If we have a fraction and we're making it a decimal, we have to divide. The numerator always goes in the house and the denominator goes outside the house. So take a second, pause, and divide this out. So what you just did was, or you should have done, is that 8 goes into 50, you have to add your decimal 0, goes into 56 times, which is 48. 50 minus 48 is 2. Then you do 8 goes into 22 times, which is 16. You see 4, you add one more 0, it's going to terminate. And 8 goes into 40 5 times exactly. So we have 0 and 625 thousandths. Always remember that the numerator goes in the house. The first number on top goes in the house. Percent is always out of 100. So if you are given 0.2 and asked to make it a percent, you're multiplying by 100. That's why we move it 2 times. So that's 20%. Even if you have a number like 1.2, you still have to make the decimal 2 times. That would be 120%. Okay? If you have 3 numbers like what we just did on that fraction to decimal, you still just move it twice. Doesn't matter how many numbers are there, you have to move it 2 times. And you can have a decimal in the percentages. That's okay. With that one, the percentage of 2.51, you just do the decimal twice. It's not normal that you have over 100%, but it is possible. So that one would be 251%. Here are the ones I really wanted to get to, the word problems. Do not let these freak you out. You know how to do these. We worked on them Friday. We worked on them today. So there are 25 students performing in the holiday concert. Of the students, 11 are boys. So we have 11 boys out of 25 students. What decimal represents the fraction of students that are boys? First of all, you need to write the fraction. There's 11 boys out of a total of 25 students. And how do we make a fraction a decimal? Well, we have to divide 11 by 25. Don't freak out about this big number. You know this. This is your quarters. You can do this. So can 25 go into 11? No. Add a decimal 0. If you feel comfortable right now, I would pause it and do it on your own. If you need to take the steps with me, then follow along with me on your paper. So 25 goes into 110 4 times, which is 100. That's 4 quarters makes 100 pennies. We have 10 left over. We add another 0 and bring it down. And 25 will go into 100 4 times, which is exactly 100. So the decimal for this is 0 and 44 hundredths. If they asked the percent, all we'd have to do is move that decimal twice and get 44%. But it did just ask for the decimal, so 0.44 would be the right answer. The next one, in a survey of 500 people, 31% said that they were afraid of flying. What decimal represents the number of people who said they were afraid of flying? This 500 is given to throw you off because all it says, it tells you the percentage. It wants to know the decimal of that percent. All you have to do is change that percent into a decimal, which we've been doing. If the decimal's out of sight, it's on the right. Move the decimal 2 times to the left, which is 0.31. So the decimal that represents it is 0.31. Okay? If 45% of the class are boys, what percent are girls? Well, we know percent is always out of 100. So if I have 100% makes one whole class, and 45% of them are boys, how could I figure out the percentage of girls? Well, if I know it has to add up to be 100, I can take 100 minus 45, borrow, 10 minus 5 is 5, 9 minus 4 is 5, and 55% of the class would have to be girls. I'm trying to go fast because I'm trying to get as many in as possible. So if you need to repeat a question, then you need to go back and watch it. Of the students in 6th grade, 3/5 pack their lunch. What percent of students pack their lunch? This is going to be in your memorization list. You should see 3/5 and automatically say, oh, 2, 4, 6. That is 0.6. That is the decimal. And so to find the percent, you're going to have to move the decimal over 2 times to get 60%. I think I have one more. Brendan needs to answer 0.70 of the test questions correctly to pass the test. What percent is this? All you do is you take your decimal and it's asking for the percent. So you take 0.70. And how do you make a decimal a percent? You move the decimal 2 times to the right, which is 70%. Hope this was helpful. If you need to rewatch it without writing anything down the second time, that's fine. Make sure you memorize your list. You will not be able to use a calculator for your memorization part of your test. You'll be given a calculator when you get the second part of your test. Good luck. Hope you do well.